Hi everyone, this is Sonia up in Montreal reporting for Infowars.com, and I'd like to talk to you about GMOs. Just a few years ago, most people had no idea what GMOs even were, but now as their devastating effects on humans and the environment are coming to light, GMOs are getting more and more widespread attention. Lately, Monsanto has been getting sued by individuals and in class action lawsuits. States like Vermont are trying to have the right to label GMO food, even though Monsanto is threatening to sue them. Countries such as some in Europe have been trying very hard to keep GMOs banned, and recipients of US food aid have been burning GMO seeds. And yet, despite all this damning evidence coming out against GMOs, we're repeatedly being told that they're safe by groups such as the Council for Biotechnology Information. Harvard development expert says biotech crops are a solution for food and environmental challenges. Well, I guess if the challenge is to destroy the food supply and the environment, then yeah, GMOs are the perfect solution. Here's a link on the Council's website to a bogus study supposedly proving that GM corn is safe. Research by top scientists in Europe supports the safety of biotech corn. Well, it says it's from the European Food Safety Authority. So obviously, if they're the authority, I probably shouldn't be questioning them. But I did read the report, actually. And here's what it said, in my understanding, okay? Their conclusions, first of all, were that the panel does not identify adverse effects on the environment, human and animal health due to maize MON 810 cultivation during the 2010 growing season. Okay, they did not identify any adverse effects. That doesn't mean there weren't any, it just means that they didn't identify them. So here's what they did. One of the things that they were looking for was resistance in the target pests to the pesticide that is genetically incorporated into this corn. So these pests that are targeted are in the Lepidoptera family, which are moths and butterflies. And they were looking for this because they know that this is what happens. So they studied them, and they found that, lo and behold, they did show resistance to the pesticide. But they blamed this on the farmers' non-compliance with the guidelines to plant a certain amount of non-GM corn around or near the GM crop. As this is like a buffer zone, as if having this little buffer zone is supposed to somehow prevent this problem of pests becoming resistant to the GM crop, and as if that was the only problem that you could have with this kind of a crop when it came to insects in the area. In fact, in their conclusions, they say the panel identified a number of shortcomings in the methodology, and they recommend that in areas of abundance of non-target Lepidoptera populations, measures should be taken to mitigate these non-target species exposure to the GM pollen. They're mentioning this because they've known for a long time that this is a big problem. In fact, they've known this for well over 10 years, as this article says. Toxic pollen from widely planted, genetically modified corn can kill monarch butterflies, Cornell study shows. So basically, it's been known for a very long time that GM crops disrupt natural ecosystems and kill all kinds of species. And no matter what the EFSA paper here can say, they kind of glossing over this. Saying that, oh, measures should be taken. But the fact is that nothing can really be done to protect the environment and these little species once this crop has been planted and starts to pollinate. And as for them, as they say here, not having identified adverse effects on humans and animal health, well, they didn't look very hard. What they did was they gave farmers a questionnaire and had them fill it out. Now, you know, how many adverse effects are they really going to find from that? Because a lot of times this accumulates over time. You start to see these adverse effects. And when there has been research done, such as by Dr. Arpad Pushtai, who was in Scotland, he found that the GMOs were very toxic to the rats that he fed it to. and they suffered organ damage and brain shrinkage. So the research is there. The studies have been done. GMOs have been shown to be toxic, and this study here, this scientific opinion, is like a kind of tobacco science by people who are probably in the pocket of Monsanto. This is terrible. This is evil. This is part of a larger agenda to consolidate power in the hands of a few agribusiness giants so that we cannot produce our own food, because of course Monsanto owns all the patents. This is also an agenda to force people into cities by making them unable to live off the land. And it's an agenda for eugenics as well. So they know that we adults are getting wise to this, so what are they doing? They're going after the kids. Look closer at biotechnology. This is also from the Council for Biotechnology Information, or maybe it should be renamed as the Council for Biotechnology Disinformation. This is an activity book for the kids. And they're going to tell you about all the wonderful things that biotechnology can do, such as grow more food, help the environment, grow more nutritious food and improve our health. Lies, lies, and more lies. I mean, who do they think that they're kidding? Well, I guess that they're kidding the kids for now, until the parents start to wise up. If you're parents, I would recommend that you keep an eye on what they're teaching your kid at school. Grow more food with a seed that doesn't reproduce? Help the environment by what? Killing the Lepidoptera species? Grow more nutritious food that improves our health by causing organ damage and brain shrinkage, I guess. How can biotechnology help us grow more food? To answer this question, we will refer to the common apple. Divide it up into sections. Keep splitting it up until you have 32 sections. Peel that 32nd section and tell the kid that although the population on the planet is ever increasing, this is the only part of the landmass that can be used to grow food. So as you can see, we have a very limited amount of resources when it comes to arable land. And one day, we're all going to starve unless we start using biotechnology. They left out the fact that as of right now, the entire world's population could fit into an area the size of the state of Texas. Now, I'm not saying everyone should move to Texas, but you get the idea. Next question, how can biotechnology help us grow food that can improve our health and is more nutritious? Well, at this point, it can't. It's more likely to kill you. And they give a few pictures here, and you have to match them up. So they have potatoes and some rice and bananas, and you have to match them up. One of them is edible medicines. That's right. Pharma crops. Pharma crops are a good thing, kids, because see, all you have to do is eat the corn or the soy, and you don't have to take the birth control pill anymore. Parents, you better keep an eye on what they're teaching your kids at school. But the good news is that people are becoming more and more aware of this. And like I said earlier, they're taking Monsanto to court. Personally, I try to avoid GMOs as much as possible. I won't buy anything if it says it's got GMO soy, it says soy, corn, canola, or cottonseed oil. I won't say GMO because I can't label it. But if it has any of those oils in it, I won't buy it because the odds are it's GMO. How far do you go to avoid GMOs? Do you try to avoid them? Well, leave me your comments, and thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.